Hi everyone, how are you doing? Is alright. So it's tactic board time where we're going to be looking at, first we're going to look at Newcastle, second we'll look at Chelsea. If you're new to the channel, you know what to do, hit that like button. If you hate us, hit that dislike, and both of those actions will help us get promoted on YouTube. Right, okay, so here we go. You know, what does Rafa go with? Does he rotate the side, because we know that we've got Burnley on Wednesday? Does he want to have a cup run? What does he prioritise? I think for me, he's got to prioritise the league as well for me. So this is what I would like to see. I think it will be quite deep, don't get me wrong, regardless of whatever team that Rafa puts out. But for me, I'd like to see the two up top. I would like, as a one-off, if this was a league game, I can understand Rafa going very, very defensive, which he did last month when we got beat 3-1, the wing-back system at Stamford Bridge. But for me, because this is a one-off, it's the FA Cup. You know, there is surprises here in each round of the FA Cup. Why can't Newcastle be that surprise? That's my question. But I know it's a massive ask. I know that Chelsea probably rotate some of their side and they've got injuries. But I would like to see very, very similar to Mike Bassett, England manager, 4-4-2. That's what I'd like to see. So for me, I would like to see Perez chucked a little bit further forward. I just feel that Dwight Gale's form recently hasn't been up to scratch and he's been wasting a few chances, hence the reason why we're linked to Nikolai Jorgensen. Now I think he will bring in Hoslu, so Hoslu can obviously hold the ball up and play in whoever that needs to be. I think that's why Hoslu will start as well. That's what I'd like to see. Okay, some people might say, oh, I want to see Gale here, but for me, Perez has scored 3 goals since the start of the year, and I just feel he hasn't had a full run-up up front. Now for me, Jacob Murphy, you know, we know that Matt Ritchie's probably the better of the two. However, his form is so much better than Matt Ritchie's at the moment. You can't drop Jacob Murphy, and I don't want him seeing playing left wing either. You want to see Murphy playing on that right attack, because there's no shadow of a doubt Chelsea will have a makeshift left wing back. So Jacob Murphy, get the ball out wide to him, get him running. It's probably going to be Zappa Costa that's going to play out of position. Get him running down these wings, get him running at the full back as well. And then you've got DeAndre Yedlin in there too. Now, centre midfield, you might say, oh, that might be a little bit risky against Chelsea because Mikel Merino and Shelvey. But for me, I would like to see that. Will it happen? Probably not. No disrespect to Shelvey, but I don't think he's been great this season. I think he's had a couple of good games, but Mo Diarmi since the turn of the year is actually doing pretty good in that deep line midfield role. So I'm expecting to see Diarmi in there, but I don't want to see that. I would like to see Shelvey Merino. Don't want to see Hayden in there because we know that Merino can bring the ball out. We talk about that all the time. We know that Shelvey, if he's up for it, has all this in his locker. We know that he can do that, but he's got to be, if he plays for me, if he does, he's got to be more involved. Because we know that Shelvey comes and wants the ball off. Leave that. Bugger off, Shelvey. Go forward. Hang around this average in your heating map, which you see after games. I want to see him in the centre midfield role as well. Paul Dummett's been absolutely brilliant since he's come back in. I think he should be okay. Looking after probably Victor Moses on that right flank. Christian Atsu returning to his old club. We know that he can get out the box. He's probably had a little bit of dip in form, but I would still rather start Atsu than Richie at the moment. Jamal Lascelles, again, with him the side will look a totally different side for me. He just brings calmness, reassurance around him, and having Kieran Clark alongside him, their partnership worked really well. And I do think it'll be Carl Darlow on goal. There was talk that Freddie Woodman might play and then shipped it out on loan, but I don't think that'll be the case now, what Rafa has said. I will think he'll go with Darlow regardless if Elliott's fit or not. Well, we know Elliott is fit, but I think he will go with Darlow. So it's not really the team I think Rafa is going to go with. That's a team I would like to see go out, as I've touched upon all week. I want to see his attack. I want to see his go for it. And if we get picked off, as I've touched upon in the Chelsea videos earlier on tonight, and also our build up to this week, if we get picked off, then fair enough. At least we'll go out with a bang, you know. At least we can. But you know, I think Rafa will go cautious. I really do. I think he will play probably a 4-2-3-1. I'd be very surprised if he goes 2 up top. Let us know what you think. Let's get over to Chelsea. Right, okay, this is difficult because we don't know if Antonio Conte is going to rotate. I think he is. Now, they do have some injuries. Let me get out of the way. I think they will continue the wing-back system of this 3. Then you've got Zappa Costa and Moses out wide. I'll explain that in the middle. Then I think it'll be Fabregas if he's fit, that is. Then Danny Drinkwater, Pedro and Batshuayi. Now you look straight away that there's no Willian because he's out injured, and there's Eden Hazard. I think he'll come off the bench later on. There is talk that you might say Dejan Sterling come in here, and you might say Ampudo come in here, the 2 youngsters if you don't know who they are as well. But I think that's what I'm going to guess. That's what we're going to go with Conte with goes with. We know that Courtois is injured as well, so I think this is what they'll be. We've obviously been linked to Caballero as well. David Luiz will come back in at the side. Batshuayi will play up top because we know that Morata is also out of this game as well. So, I mean, how do you stop these? I mean, first of all, we feel, and 100% Chelsea feel, that Zappacosta will play left wing back. I don't know whether that's because Alonso will be just rested for this game, but I have said in one of the videos earlier on this week that he is a threat. If Alonso does start, he's a threat going forward from set pieces and getting in that box. He's just so underrated, and it's mad because when he was at Sunderland, he just wasn't rated at all. But I think Zappacosta will be switched to the left. I think then it'll be Moses, the other wing back system as well, which then gives Chelsea all of this freedom, the wing backs, to play with that. And that's why when you do see the likes of Pedro, Willian or Hazard play, so we'll pick Pedro, he's not going to be playing out here. He's not going to be touching there. That's Moses. So that'll allow, for example, if this was Eden Hazard, but we think Danny Drinker will start again. Same again. That leave the wing backs there. That's their job. You've got to be so fit to play wing back, and that'll allow then, if that was Eden Hazard, to come in and Pedro to come in as well, and also rotate between the two. But I do think it will be Danny Drinkwater. I think you'll probably see Hazard later on. If against as Fabregas plays for me, and I've touched upon this, got wires all over the floor. If I touch upon this as well, I said this, if he's allowed to pass, because we know that he's got it in his locker, quite similar to our Jonjo Shelvey, whereas Fabregas isn't more like 70 yards passes, is more like a 30 yard, 40 yard, just clips in, lovely for runners. He can do that. He can do all of this all day long to whoever he needs to. Maybe it's Batshuayi on the run. But for me, Fabregas does play. And if you are playing Ayoze Perez, well, there's your man there for you. Get Ayoze Perez tight to him. Because I feel like you've got to stop the passes coming through, because he is the playmaker, so to speak, as well. You look at the front three, you could say that, you know, Cahill hasn't played much. David Luiz hasn't played much. Rudiger's another one who they do rotate that back three, because you normally see Christensen, who's made himself one of the first people to be successful from being loaned out from Chelsea. But, you know, if that is something, maybe Hoslu can play, as I've touched upon as well. Can he trouble David Luiz? Personally, I think David Luiz could look after Hoslu pretty easy. That's why I feel that Newcastle then need that second striker, because if you've got three at the back and you've got two strikers, at some point during the play, if Newcastle do attack, it will leave one of those strikers free at some point, because they'll have your midfield running forward as well. That's why I think, go for it. You know what it is. Go for this. Go and win it. Go and be brave if we get put out the FA Cup, as I've touched upon earlier on. You know what it is. Go out and score some goals. The FA Cup, as they say, anything can happen. Let me know what you think of Chelsea. Let me know what I want for the Newcastle lineup. What do you want as well? And obviously, it's live on BT as well. Good luck to all the lads who are travelling down there as well. A couple of our backroom team are heading down to Stamford Bridge too. I'm not there personally, but all the best. Good luck travelling. Make sure you sing your heart out. I'm sure you will. See you later. I'll watch what you're doing. Bye.